テクニックを用いる前にね、人間の魂の問題が、霊の問題、命の問題があるわけですよ。そういうものをね、例えば踊りを作るときにね、そういうものをね、いつの間にかその用いて踊りをやると。そしていつの間にかその肝心なことがなくなっちまう。
世界36万の道後道明阿弥陀仏。
I just got a haircut. I am reading The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and I hope you can hear me. OOTD. The cutie.
Oh! And transition.
What is this?
It's Aisha's camera. It's so discreet. It's like
it doesn't even look like a camera. Hey.
POV, you're a piece of lint falling through the air.
Is there a viewfinder? It's your third leg.
I only make 10 a day.
Get my
You have to get the thumbnail.
This is the thumbnail.
I mean, it depends on your group. I think it's not to
I knows everything.
俺らテクニックで生きてるわけじゃないし、むしろテクニックをね、使えば使うほど大事なものは蓋されて、大事なものがどっか脱落していくということについてやっぱり体験してますからね。死んでからもテクニック構成で生きていくわけじゃないから、死んでいくわけじゃないから。
How we all doing? What a whirlwind of some odd hours. This weekend has been filled with rain, and now it's like super windy today. I can't seem to keep up with the days. I don't know how y'all do it. This thing called living. I don't know how y'all do it. I just feel like I'm completely behind on so many things. Just like life stuff and like the future. I don't know, it's just like a lot. I'm like tired and I want some time off, honestly. But even with the time off that I will have in a couple weeks, I'm just like, it's still not enough time with what I want to like accomplish and everything. It's already like the first quarter of the year and I don't think I'm at 52 books yet, which kind of scares me, bugs me, but such is life. We have some books to talk about though. I read Daffodil and Other Poems by Vincent Katz. What this feels like for me is being in the city, but existing in the city during its odd hours, where after the rush hour, after people have gone and sat at their jobs, and you're just given the city, like you woke up at an odd end hour and you're just like, wow, the city feels like it's mine, it belongs to me. And just like that keen observation of things that you wouldn't normally see day to day. It's like being at the park on a Wednesday afternoon, really looking at the trees, the birds, looking for the existence of others. That's what this is. It sort of exists in that like New York school kind of poets. I'm thinking of like Lerner, Frank O'Hara, and that era of poetry, just done in a modern way. The poems do feel controlled and there's this grace to them, but ultimately just fine. I feel like this is also the kind of book where you just end up at the library and you see this and you flip through it and you can finish it while flipping through it. It's 100 so pages and the poems are quite short. And I'll read you one of them. It's the title poem and it starts the collection. And it's quite beautiful. Here we go. Daffodil. If I imagine all time sequestered in the fold of a daffodil, closed to the desire of sitting next to someone, it's like a trip uptown and then one downtown. My door is open to the revenge of snow. Clasp me as a trumpet seeks release. I should see daydreams in eyes, all aflutter and simplified down. The stores and all the other places we settled down to. Beautiful, beautiful rhythm there. There's just like these fun kinetic sounds. Door is open to the revenge of snow. Clasp me. Trumpet seeks release. So key to read poetry out loud sometimes, because this just actually is my first time reading it out loud. In my head, I was like, wow, what a great poem. But reading it out loud, it's just like, woo, an even better poem. It's very much like that. It exists solely on observation. That's great sometimes. It's great to be reminded to look up from our devices and even our books and just really look at the world. Yeah, finished this at Kyobo and I thought this was wonderful. Thank you, Matt Sharapa, for sending this over. Major love. Yesterday was great. Hung out with Hajin and Co. Got to eating and then got to talking and it then became more talking. I had to rush over to this little musical event at Department N in Mappo, which was great. Met some new faces, heard some great music. It was super chill, very low-key. And what I loved also was that it was just like the perfect night. There was like a lot of good laughs, good people. The music was great. I just love that sometimes. And you know what? All before 10 p.m. I love that. Sometimes evenings can get a little out of sorts and ends at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm just like, well, fuck, now I have to get a cab and try and get home and spend that money. But Subway's great. It's like $1.50 a fare, and it's like, yeah, that's where I want to be. But here, let me show you. This is the poster for the show, which I stole. Hans was really the sole performer that I wanted to see. He's based in Australia, and he just does these like really chill, lo-fi sounds. Veers into like R&B bedroom pop, and he's Korean, and he just like mixes Korean and English in like a really fun, easy way. So yeah, enjoyed this. And then there was a limited t-shirt printing. Thank you to my friend for getting this for me. Major love. It's like, do I need another t-shirt? No, but here we are. Just something fun. I thought this would be like good for summer. Just like a simple white t-shirt. You know what? I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have like 3 or 4 graphic white t-shirts that I haven't worn ever. Mostly because it's not t-shirt weather yet, but I have one that I think I've had for like about 2 years now and I never worn it. It's a great thick white t-shirt, but I'm just so scared of like getting it dirty. I don't know, y'all. My body chemistry is disgusting. Those underpits of like old white t-shirts that I've had in the past, trashed now, or have turned into like tea towels or like cleaning towels. If any immigrant household ever done that? Torn up a t-shirt, cut it up, and used it as like a rag to clean things. So my body is disgusting. The things that it produces, disgusting. And I eat fine. Like, I have an okay diet. It's not like I'm eating garbage. Healthy stuff, I swear. Anyway, do you want to see the white shirt? Let me show you. Here it is. Made in Korea, printed in Korea. My favorite club in Seoul. And then on the back, it's just like fun retro printing. It's just like really fun. I've never worn it. I've never worn it because I'm so scared of getting it dirty. I don't want to. Maybe this will be the year that I wear it. Let's talk books real quick. So sorry. Okay, change of... How's that? Are we good? Okay, I think that's fine. Y'all, because this put me in such a slump, and also I'm reading... Is it on the Language of Limbs? You know, sometimes I don't even know what I'm reading half the time. A Language of Limbs by Dylin Hardcastle. I have this as an e-arc. This is being published by Picador Australia in June. Really, all my thoughts will be in the wrap-up, but so far it's okay. It's just like really horny YA. It just feels way too debut-y, and I'm having an okay time with it. It's sort of just playing out as like a TV show for me, and I'm just like... So, yeah, having read this, somewhat slumping through Language of Limbs, I decided, okay, let me just get to some actual reads that I want to get to for my goals of this year. And so I picked up Han Kang's The Vegetarian. It is about a woman, very quiet, very still, very frail, almost like Han Kang herself, rejects meat because of a dream. She sees a face in a dream. She becomes a vegetarian, while also going through the patriarchy, going through a somewhat abusive husband. It's abusive in like the microaggression kind of way, where men, awful, men suck, really suck sometimes. And here you get the caricature of the Korean man in a domestic marriage, just like the nonchalance of neglect that some men just have, and it's just like, yo, come on, put your thinking cap on, be a little more considerate. And yeah, this woman is struggling to keep up with her own body, because her own body fails because of this dream that she's had, that the own body produced. And it's that struggle, the struggle of maintaining a body, which I think is always core theme of a Han Kang book. Now, what I'm curious about, which we'll find out together, Han Kang, copyright 2000-2007. When was this published? I think it was 2007. Originally published in 2007 in Korean. At the time, we'll say, really awful time to be a woman. Anything after, I think, like 2020, I think the pandemic really shaped like the younger generation and modern people and people's end goals. People are not going to get married. I feel like less and less people are going to get married. People are not going to have children. Just the like direction of society and also the pressures wanting to get married, it's just like people don't give a fuck anymore. They're tired. They're just tired of the battle of the sexes. They're more focused on the ego and more focused on passions. Living in Korea is brutal. Like schooling, having to go to cram schools after school, trying to get into the best university. These are all really strong pressures still, and that takes a toll on the self. It takes its toll on the body. It's incredibly competitive as well. And so this coming out in 2007 makes a lot of sense. It still has that like core attack on man as a way to create critique and commentary. Does it still hold up? There are passages where I'm just like, maybe that was like laid down a little too heavy. I can see it working better then versus now. But so far, I'm having an okay time with it. But there are like really interesting scenes in here that are just like typical Han Kang, and I'm just like, girl, you do you, and you do you so well. But yeah, enjoying this so far. I have like about 50 or so pages left, and I'll probably finish it before I head out. I don't know if I'm gonna head out. The weather is really icky, y'all. I just don't want to be in that weather. Okay, and now book buying ban is in effect because I picked up 3 books I shouldn't have, and I don't know why I'm here with them, but I'm here with them. And what is done, and I can't return them, and they're here and they're stuck with me. Although, to be honest, I think they've earned their right on my shelf. So, let's get to talking. Y'all, I'm really enjoying the Penguin Modern Classics. I just love the look and feel of them. I think it was also Ross who had a stack of them in a recent vlog or something. I was just like, god damn, I would love to start a collection like that. I got Louise Gluck's poems 1962 to 2020. I've been like swept into a big feel for poetry. I recently made a vlog about Glück, and I don't know, I love her like sensitivity. I haven't read a lot. The few that I've read like here and there in bookstores and like online, yeah, I don't know, I just love her sensitivity to love and how she just sees life. It's just like really quiet and really private, but like sacred in a way. Like her privacy is so sacred, and the private way that she sees things and like stitches words together just feels like a neat little handy dandy craft, you know? Like one of those like yarn based coasters, and you're seeing all the intricacies to it and the time spent in making it, and though it's not perfect, it's just like it's perfect within its like own imperfections. Does that make any sense? Anyway, I'm gonna get to this soon. I'm really excited. And I think this is like collected poetry books. I'm gonna count these as multiple reads. I'm gonna do it. If anyone has a favorite Glück poem, let me know. I also got James Baldwin's No Name in the Street. I've been thinking about Baldwin a lot. I don't know why. The grace and jazz that he writes in. I just want to be back in that. So I have this. I forgot where I heard about this, but it is memoir, and he wrote it later in his life, and it's like apparently his greatest memoiric writing. I'd read the first page and I was just like, wow, this is like really deeply personal, but written with such beauty. And I'm just like, I want to get there. I want to write like that. I want my journal entries to sound like this. So we have this. James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. I've read this before. I've read it twice or so. And yeah, it's one that I've like wanted to reread for a really long time, and I think I might. I think because I've just been like slumping so hard. I don't know what's wrong with my reading this year, but it has really, really diminished. So yeah, I just like, I want to get back in my groove of at least like 10 to 12 books a month. I think like rereading to like your old favorites is a good way to get out of slump. So I will do this soon, eventually. I know it's like in every person's canon, and I feel like every person has read it or reread it in the past year or two. And now, you know what? I'm gonna be part of the camp, so let me be part of the camp. The wind lashes are bringing turbulent rain, and that's no fun, is it?
私はテクニック構成になっていくしね、そういうものを押しのけてね、そしてひたすら魂の願いのようなもの、そういうような私をやっていきたいと思ってるし。
That cold brew earlier, which was divine, is like still coursing through me. So I'm good. I'm on a roll. But we got some boricha to cool us down. Can you see my nipples through the shirt? Final thoughts on the vegetarian. Interesting. Han Kang did that. Now I think I can do like Han Kang tier list. It feels very different from her other works. But what this actually reminds me of is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Here's a woman wanting, it's not even a wanting, it's a must. She must become this tree. After she becomes a vegetarian, it's more she understands that she wants to you are what you eat, and she wants to become a plant, a tree, essentially to be one with nature. I think the metaphors are a bit heavy-handed. Do they work okay? They work fine. I just feel like it's hard to measure because it's different from her other works where most of her stories exist in the I. So all of her characters usually are in the first person narrative. You'll have I all the time, and I think she works really well in that refrain. This one, it's almost as if Han Kang herself steps out of her own body as woman and examines it from the male perspective and tries to understand it from the male perspective. And she does this a lot. I think one of the great things in how she investigates is sort of disembodiment. This is through multiple perspectives, this is through othering, this is through the loss of different senses. There's always an absence in her characters and in her setups. She plays with restrictions in order to understand what is actually at hand and what one can do and how one can survive. And in this case, she is displacing herself, putting herself in the male gaze, and really looking at the suffering of a female body, or looking at what suffering is from outside within. It sits at like a hard 3 stars for me, though. I just don't think it's like at the level it needs to be. Later work perfects sort of the detached Han Kang style, but this one is interesting. It's almost as if she's still playing with form, or still playing with ways in which we separate the self in order to really understand the self and really get to the soul. All of her work just experiments in ways to try and find the soul, really find the heart of the individual. And yeah, I thought this was just fine. Yeah, finally glad I did it. Read it a lot more quickly than I thought. Now, I am reading Johnno by David Malouf. This is apparently a Australian classic. Yeah, Johnno he's atypical, and he's kind of a troublemaker. Was it only the war that made things change? And what would happen when the war was over? I knew the lights would come on again, all over the world, even in Queen Street. But what else? What else? I think I expected some miraculous transformation might take place in us, as extraordinary perhaps as the explosion of a row of Allied flags out of an empty sleeve. And I had longed for it painfully. The end of the war. It's okay so far. Definitely feels like it's from the 70s. Yep. 1976. I shouldn't take a nap, but I should. Actually, guys, I think I'm gonna misbehave. Let it be known, it is Sunday, and I am going to see LSD XOXO, maybe? Show starts at midnight, ends at like 6. I have work tomorrow. I know I shouldn't yell. I know I shouldn't. But let it be known, I've been listening to LSD XOXO since like high school, like end of high school. There was that like mixtape they put out on SoundCloud ages ago, and it was amazing. I can't remember if they had a Tumblr, but that's where I first discovered LSD XOXO and just thought they were phenomenal. And yeah, they're here, and I'm seeing them for $10. How can you not? Maybe I'll stay for a bit, and I hope they don't, like, start late. There's other soul DJs, and I'm just like, as much as I love local talent, just not on a Sunday, guys, not on a Sunday. I have work. So I was debating, I should take a disco nap, shouldn't I? But then, let it be known, I'm currently working on the Ocean Vung, the Emperor of Gladness vlog, and I've made, like, a dent in it, so I think I really need to, like, chip away at it, because I think I'm putting it out this weekend, otherwise there will be no vlog this weekend, and maybe that'll be the case, but yeah, I don't know, y'all, because I should really take that disco nap. If I don't, I'm gonna be so dead tomorrow.
こういう舞踏体に雷が落ちます。 これが体の中を通って指先から床に放電していきます。それに引っ張られて歩く。これが抜け殻の状態になっていきます。ここから舞踏は始まります。
何を教えるの、芸術を教えるなんてことできっこないでしょ。一般的な常識だっていうのはね、芸術を教えるもんでなくしてね、私の考えじゃ人間が人間の中から生み出されるように生み出されるものが私は作品だと思っておるので。命を取ったから、命から教えられたんで、だから命を見るだけ。生きて生きて生き生きときた。